Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. In our last lecture, we looked at how we can create API endpoints in SvelteKit. And from that lecture, we were able to successfully create one that returns a message using a get method. And remember, we said it in our last lecture that we can create endpoints for other HTTP request methods like post, put, delete, and patch, depending on what you need. So in this lecture, what we're going to do is we're going to look at the events that we have access to from within our endpoint here. What are the events that we have access to? So for us to get the list of or the list of events that we can actually access from within our endpoints here. So let's pass event here. If I can type, then let's console log event. So because this is a server-side request, we are not going to get it directly in our browser. So if we look at our console, we will not be able to get it. So if I refresh this, you see we are not getting it in our console here. But if we go back to our terminal, you see we are able to get the list of events that we have access to. So from within our endpoint, we have access to cookies, fetch, we have access to client address, we have access to params, we have access to locals, we have access to requests, and we have access to routes, headers, and URL as well. So from within our application here, this is our endpoint. It is easy for us to set a cookie from our API endpoint. So by destructuring this event, actually we can do event.cookies. You can see the list of things we have access to that I showed you in the terminal. So because I don't want to use all of these, so I'm just going to use cookies. So I'll have to destructure the event. So let me destructure it now, so that we can quickly create a cookie from within our API endpoint. So to destructure, we're just going to pass an object and what we want from the event, which is cookies. So now that we've been able to destructure the event to get cookies, we can easily set a cookie from our endpoint by saying cookies.set. Then we can set a cookie, the saying my cookie. That's the name of our cookie. Then the value, we can just say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then because we want our cookie to be available all through our application, so we have to specify the path. If not, it will use the current path. So we want it to be globally available, so we're going to pass. So the path to this would be, so with this, it will be available all through our application. So let's just give it a try and see what's going to happen. So I'm going to refresh this endpoint. Remember, this is our endpoint, which is a get method. So if I refresh this now let's go to our application in our browser. Go to application, then go to cookies. You can see, so this is the cookie we just set, my cookie 1, 2, 3, 4. So from our endpoint, we are able to set a cookie from our endpoint, which is very, very good. And as well, we can get the cookie as well by doing cookies.get. Then we can get the name of our cookie, which is my cookie, right? So with this, we'll be able to get the value, and we can as well pass that. So I'm just going to convert this to a string literal. So, and we can do, and my cookie is, so let's pass sorry, before that, let me store this in a variable. So let's so now that we've stored that in a variable, so we can pass that variable here, cookie, right? And we can save. So if we go back to refresh this at endpoint, you see we're able to get that back. So this will be the end for this lecture. In the next lecture, we'll look at other things like the fetch API and the request, and how to set headers from endpoint. Thank you. See you next time.